Hey there everybody, so as promised, today we're going to be talking about the surface area of triangular prisms. And our I can statement says, I can find the surface area of triangular prisms. So if you want to color code your sides, you might want to try to find 4 different color pens or colored pencils or whatever you're using. You don't have to color code, it's just optional if it helps you keep track of everything. So for today's lesson, you'll need the color coding things if you want to color code, and a calculator is definitely helpful as well. Your assignment is going to be these first 5 problems, which means you really only have to do page 1. So I'm not going to do page 1 with you guys at all. What I'm going to do is show you some problems from page 2 for practice, and then you can do page 1 on your own. Okay, so let's get started with number 6. All right, so remember we're going to be finding the area of each face of this triangular prism. So we're going to be finding the area of this one, this one, this one, this one in the back, and then this triangle in the back is going to be the same as this one in the front. So we have to think through all of that and then just add them up and we'll have the total surface area. Let's get started with the triangles. So like I said, we have a triangle here and the same triangle back here. So we're going to find the area of it and then we'll just multiply it by 2. Let me draw it out. You can tell back here that the right angle is up there in the corner. So when I draw it, I'm going to put the right angle there, and that's going to help me know what to use as the base and what to use as the height and all that stuff. So we're going to have a 4 here on the top edge. This diagonal is going to be a 5. And then what is this dotted line? It doesn't really tell me, but if I come up here, you can tell that it's 3 inches. So I'm going to put a 3 here. Now whenever you're trying to figure out the base and the height for a triangle, if you have a right triangle, just use the 2 sides that join up to the right angle. So like here's our right angle, we're going to use this side, and we're going to use this side, the 4 and the 3. Now it doesn't matter which one's the base and which one's the height, it won't affect your equation at all. Just make sure that you don't use the 5. Do not use the one that's across from the right angle. So for the base and height, use the 2 that kind of come together to form the right angle. So as you know, the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height, and that's that b, the little b, right? So we'll do 1/2, I'll say 4 times 3. Let's see, 4 times 3 is 12. Divide that in half, you're going to get 6. So it looks like the surface area of the triangle equals 6. Now there's 2 triangles, so let's multiply it by 2, and we're going to get 12. Okay, phew, there's enough for one day, right? No, definitely not. Keep going, please. So that was the surface area for this top triangle and this bottom triangle. They total up to be 12. Okay, next up, I'm going to change colors here. Let's do, let's do this rectangle in the back. How about that one? So it was this one here. And I will draw it here, and I'll write the little dimensions on it. It looks like this side is 3, and this side is 10. So that's not too bad. 10 times 3, length times width, gives us 30 for that one. All right, moving right along. We'll use purple for this top rectangle. It looks like this one is 10, and that one is 4. Let's keep outlining it. So we have our rectangle. That top one is 10, and now the side one is 4. 10 times 4 gives us 40. All right, so the area of that rectangle was 40. There's only one left, and it's going to be this one that kind of faces down here in the front. So this length was the same as this length. So this one's a 10, and this one dropping down, that's your 5. So let's write that down. 10 up here, 5 over here. So the area of that one is going to be 50. Okay, so now you should have 4 numbers. You're going to have this one. This is for the 2 triangles. And then you have that side, and that side. And you're just going to add them all up. We could add them by hand, but I've got a calculator here, and I'm just going to use it to make it quick and easy. Make sure I typed it in right. Looks good. And we get a total of 132. So our surface area is 132 inches squared. Alrighty, so that's how you do that one. Now stick with me, let's watch another one, because finding the area of this triangle is just a little bit different than finding the area of that triangle was. So I'll go ahead and start off with my blue. Like I said, we'll do the triangle first. So that's this triangle and this triangle, they're the same. And I'm going to just kind of draw it over here. It's hard to know exactly what it looks like, so it doesn't really matter how I draw it. There's not a right angle in this triangle. It's not a right triangle. But we do know that the two shorter sides are 6 and 8, so I'll put a 6 here and an 8 there. And then the longer side is 12, so that's helpful too. And what's really helpful is this drop down with the right angle. It goes from between the two shorter sides onto the longer side. So we're going from the two shorter sides onto the longer side, and here's my right angle. And the length of that little drop down is 3.6. So I'll put a 3.6 there. So what do you want to use as your base and your height? Well, you always want to use the drop down with the right angle. So that'll be your height. And the base will always be the side that that drop down drops onto. So right now, it drops onto the 12. See how it meets up in the middle of the 12? Whereas with the 6 and the 8, it just kind of starts at the corner between the two. It doesn't really go on to either of them. So don't use those. Use the 12 and use the 3.6. And again, you have 1/2 base times height. So 1/2 base times height was 3.6. And this looks like a good one for the calculator, so let's put that in there. Instead of 1/2, I'm going to do 0.5 because for me that's just easier. Times 12 times and then 3.6. And I get 21.6. Okay, so my triangle, I'll just draw it like that, equals 21.6. Now I need to multiply it by 2 because I have two triangles. So let's multiply it by 2. And let's see what we get. Looks like we're going to get 43.2. Okay, so that was the hard part. That's the heavy lifting of the problem. Now let's do the 3 rectangles. So I'll start with the one in back. That's this one right here. It's 12 along that dimension and 7 along that one. Okay, and I'm going to draw it. It's 12 by 7. 7 times 12, what is that? 84, right? So that one's 84. Okay, let's do that one in front that's kind of facing us. So what are the dimensions here? Let me draw it. Looks like along the bottom we have an 8. And then going up we have a 7. 7 times 8, that gives us 56. Okay, one more side left to do. This one over here, because we have not done it yet. Sometimes the hardest part is just keeping track of what you've already done. So try to get people not to interrupt you while you're doing these problems. That definitely makes it easier. So the height there is 7, and then this dimension along here is 6, and 6 times 7 equals 42. Now you just have to take all these numbers that you've got and you need to add them together and find the total. So 43.2 plus 84 plus 56 plus 42 equals 225.2. And that will be meters squared. And that's how you do that one. Okay, so there's a couple to get you started. Yeah, the rest of these are just like the ones we just did. So you have the two kinds. You have the right triangles where you use the two legs. The ones that come together to form the right angle, you use those two sides to find the area of the triangle. Or we have the kind of triangles where you have the drop down onto the base, and you would use the base and the drop down. So just pay attention to what kind of triangles you have. Make sure you multiply them by 2 and then find the 3 other faces. And you're going to be doing numbers 1 through 5. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.